Hello and welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. I'm Ian Anderson Gray, and in this episode we are doing another behind the scenes, going behind the scenes, looking at a studio setup of an amazing guest. Well, I'm excited because I've got a really good friend of mine on as my guest today. It's Jeff Sieh, and well, Jeff is an international speaker and visual marketing consultant. He hosts the Social Media News live show and podcast, and is also head beard at Manly Pinterest Tips. Jeff has worked with and produced a wide range of content for various companies, including Guy Kawasaki, Kim Gast, Social Media Examiner, and Tailwind. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me, Ian. I am excited to be on your show today.
Well, it's exciting because I've always been, we've always spoken about gear and tools and all that kind of stuff. And I know, like me, you have over time, bought lots of gear. You've not just bought everything all together. You've been bootstrapping, I suppose, your live video studio, haven't you?
Right.
But yeah, for people who don't know you, maybe just give us a brief introduction about you, highlight your background, and then we can get onto your studio.
Yeah, so I started way back in the day creating like commercial video for people. I had a small local company. I would do like commercial, like long form videos, and then started doing blogging, and I started building websites. I built Flash websites. You can thank me later. Remember those Flash websites? Using remember Front Page and all the old stuff that we have to hand code tables and all that nastiness that we used to have to do. And then I started doing social media because my clients needed help with that. And I said, well, if I'm helping my clients, I probably need to do it myself. So I wrote a blog, and I was listening to a podcast, and I heard about how it was like this platform called Pinterest could drive all this traffic to your blog. And I'm like, ooh, that's what I need. I have a new blog. I need traffic. I need to do this. So I went and did that, and I saw results. And I wrote this article called Manly Pinterest Tips. Number one, it was about sharing a secret board with my daughter. And that kind of went crazy. And then I said, okay, they've got something here. So I started a show back in the Wild West days of Google Plus, when the live video was just coming out. And I had like 4 other guys who had way bigger followings than I did want to be on the show. And we did this show called Manly Pinterest Tips. And it was a lot of fun. We got to interview people like Guy Kawasaki, the producer of Pretty Woman and Under Siege. And just, it was so much fun back when live video was first taking off. So that led to me doing that show, then a podcast. And then I got hired by Social Media Examiner to do their Pinterest for them, which led to, speaking gigs, getting more and more embedded with that team there, doing a lot of their live video production. And then I started my own show, Social Media News Live, about 3 years ago. It's a live show and podcast, and that's where we are now.
Yeah, there's a big long journey there, and
yeah,
a lot of nostalgia, Google Plus and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But Social Media News Live is an awesome show. You do it weekly. It is live. You use Ecamm Live for that, of course, and they're a big sponsor of your show as well. So
yeah.
which is awesome stuff. So like one of the things that I know you get a lot of comments about, not just your beard, but also your background, your studio setup. What makes your studio setup unique?
So it's really interesting. So I am actually, this is a portable building outside of my house. So we live on 3.5 acres. And so I tell everybody I have like a 30-second commute, which I just go out to my office, which is great when the kids were here. My kids are now out of the house, but it was a place where I could go and get work done. I could still be present, but I also had my own space that wasn't in the house, which turned out really, really nice, especially when they were home during the summer months. So I have been in this for over 10 years now. It's finished out. It's got wood ceilings. It's really great. I am getting a little cramped, and I always tell people that I have like the cone of cleanliness. You can't see all the junk on the other side because that's the way I made it. This behind me, I remember I used to just have like shelves behind me. And when I first got started, I was actually using I think it was the camera built into my computer. And this is just like wood slats, barn siding that I got from Lowe's. And then the signs my kids started with, there's a man cave sign right here. You can't really see very well because we're zoomed in, but then we started adding the signs, and that's kind of been my setup ever since. And people seem to like it, and I haven't changed it. I have changed equipment over the years, but the background, the place where I'm at, is pretty much the same.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into your equipment very shortly. And if you're listening to the podcast, do check out the blog at iag.me/21. What are we on? 217. And you'll be able to see the video and hopefully some pics and stuff like that, just to give you some ideas of Jeff's setup. So I think we need to get on with the gear. And
Sure.
I'm sure you agree with me that the most important place to start is the audio, isn't it? You know, if people can't hear you, then you got problems. So tell us a little bit about your microphone and audio setup and why you chose what you got.
Yeah, so exactly what you said, Ian. Like, start with audio first. That's the most important. People forgive, bad video. They won't really forgive bad audio. But you don't have to go crazy and spend a gazillion dollars on your audio gear. So what I was able to, I started, I think, first with a Blue Yeti, and that plugged right into my computer. It was USB, but it was the Pro version, which had XLR and also USB. Shannon Hernandez, my friend who helps me actually produce Guy Kawasaki's podcast now, is the one who recommended to me. I used that for years. I used it for years. And then I went to a Heil PR40. And then most recently, I have the new Shure SM7DB, which I am on right now, which I really, really like. So, but it didn't all happen at once. Like, I started with the Heil and then moved up from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on your setup to begin with. It's just actually just getting started is the most important thing. So as well as your microphone, presumably with the Shure, I can't remember with your Shure, is it USB as well, or do you plug it into an audio interface?
You plug it into an audio interface. And the cool thing about the new the SM7, is Joe Rogan made it famous. But this one, the DB actually has the cloud lifter built into it. So a lot of people wanted more gain with their Shure microphones, so they would get a cloud lifter, which is a piece of technology that actually boosts their gain, so they have more kind of places to play with their audio to boost it up a little bit. And now it's built into it with the Shure SM7DB, which I really, really like. I think it sounds really, really good. And then it goes into my Rodecaster, and I still have the original Rodecaster. I haven't had a reason to upgrade yet. I mean, I get jealous and I want new gear all the time, but I can wait until it dies.
Well,
like that.
I've got the new Rodecaster Pro too, and to be honest, the disadvantage with it is a couple of disadvantages. First of all, it takes much longer to start. You press the on switch and then you have to go for a cup of tea. And then the second thing is it is more complicated to use. So it is a little bit smaller, but yeah.
One of the things I would like to get if I had to do it over again, I love the sound. I love all the processing that's built into it. If you hear it, my voice right now, it is going through the processor that the Rodecaster has, which I really, really like. But the new Duo has all of that, and it's a much smaller footprint on your desk. This one has 4 inputs. I don't need 4 inputs. I really just need one. And if I have a guest, like somebody come live in my studio, I just need another one. So the Duo would be perfect for my my use, because this is right now kind of overkill. So if I started over, that's the one I would probably pick.
Yeah, same here. I think, yeah. So let's move on to cameras. So your choice of cameras and maybe any kind of, I don't know, hacks or tips that you've found over the years.
So for me, the cool thing was, I started, like I said, with the camera that was on my computer, which wasn't the best, but it got the job done. And seriously, it was fine. And then I moved up to a webcam. I think the Logitech. Oh, they're still out there, but they were such good cameras, and they were relatively inexpensive. Then I moved up to like the Logitech Brio for a while, which is the 4K camera, and now I have I just use the Canon M50. It's actually just the first version. There's the M50 Mark II that's out, but I have I think it's a 22 millimeter lens on there to make it kind of have this more shallow depth of field, because I don't have a lot of room the way I'm laid out this way in my my office behind me. So I had to kind of get a more higher f-stop lens or lower f-stop lens to have that kind of blurry background effect that I want as much as I can for the office that I'm in.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's the setup that I had. For some reason, for whatever reason, I just had some problems with it shutting off. And I went through a lot of the things. So you just have to kind of find out what works for you. But the Canon, the Canon M50 is great, and you don't have to have a capture card. You can plug it directly in
Yeah.
via USB, which is cool.
Yeah, I just plug it straight into my Mac, and I've used it that way ever since, it's been really handy. It's really cool. I That's probably the next thing I will upgrade is my camera, but for now, it works perfectly fine. And to be honest, with the new Macs, and if you have a good iPhone and you don't need it during your show, those cameras on those iPhones are really, really good, and so that's an option as well.
Yeah, and I was just talking about last episode. I was talking about the little Belkin attachment. If you have a MagSafe iPhone, you can just put it on top of your laptop, and
it's really cool.
It is amazing. The quality is amazing. So, lighting. I don't know about you, but lighting for me has always been a struggle. Trying to it seems more of an art than a science. So, tell us a little bit more about your lighting setup and what you've had over the years.
Well, I love my lighting setup because one, I used to have I was back in the day when I did those video shoots, I'd have those lights that I have to schlep around and carry and then set up, and they got hot. And now I use the Elgato key lights, and I love them because they tie right into my Stream Deck. I can turn them on and off just with a press of a button, and I can adjust them that way. And so and they don't get hot because in Texas, even my little office gets really, really hot. And they're just wonderful, and they actually attach to my standing desk. And so if I'm standing or sitting, they actually go up and in the perfect distance with that as well. So they clamp right on my desk.
Let's move on to computer stuff now. I've got an M1 Mac Mini, which I love, but I have to admit, I'm not usually a jealous person, but I'm a little bit jealous of your setup. Tell us a little bit more about what your computer is and why you went for it, because we had quite a lot of a chat about this when you were looking at this.
So the thing with me is I was using an iMac for a long time, and it was great. It worked really, really well. But what happened was Ecamm announced ISO video, isolated video, and you had to have Mac Silicone to use that. And I'm like, okay, time for a new computer, because for me, being able to have the separate tracks allows me to repurpose things way easier. Before I was having to use another computer, which is a PC that was using vMix, but now because I love Ecamm and all the stuff you can do inside of it, I needed a new computer. So I went with the Mac Studio, the fast chip on that. I got the one that's just pre-configured. I didn't want to wait, so I just bought the one that was like that you could go down and get. I'll probably upgrade someday to a little faster, some more RAM and stuff like that, because I do a lot of video editing. But for now, it's perfect for live streaming. It's just, and editing is so much faster now. I love my Mac Studio.
Yeah, it is amazing. So you went with, because I think there's two different ones. There's the Max chip and there's the Ultra chip, which is overkill for pretty much everyone, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
I gotta remember which one I got. I don't think I got the Max. I'm pretty sure that I got.
Well, you'd have got the Max.
No, I did get the Max.
Yeah,
I did. But
not
Max.
the Ultra. But not the Ultra. And how much memory did you go for? What was your?
So
RAM?
I have the Apple, and this is when it first came out. So I think there's some more configurations that came out. But Apple M1 Max, it's got 32 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, that's cool. So like you've got that. One other thing that I just remembered I was going to ask you about, because we've not quite covered your camera setup, have we? Because I know you use an iPhone as well, sometimes for downward shots, and you use some special software. Tell us a little bit about that, and I will come back to ask you a few more questions on the computer, but I meant to ask you that before.
Yeah, so for doing like my Amazon video reviews and stuff, it's great to have a top-down camera, and I do some carving videos too, like wood carving stuff, and it's great to have. So I just use an old, I think it's a iPhone 12, I believe, and has a great camera on it. So I just use that. It plugs right into my Mac Studio, and I use Ecamm for using it as a second camera. But I also there's an app for it I think it's called Screens. I got to double check that, Ian. I think it's called Screens, that Ecamm recommended to use an app because it takes away a bunch of the overlays that you might have, and it also lets you lock your color settings and lock your white balance and stuff like that. And so it's actually right up here, right above me on an arm, and it just points down all the time, and I can switch cameras to it relatively easily.
That's cool. Yeah, the one I use is called Camo. You've mentioned it, the one that you used before. I don't think it was called Screens, but I can't remember what it was either. It'll come back to us. You'll work it out. I think Jeff's actually trying to have a look right now.
I can't remember what it's called. Maybe I
It's
can.
not called like
Uh,
shot or something.
Shoot.
It'll
It's called Shoot.
shoot. There we go.
Yeah, that's
Shoot.
it.
Yeah. There we
Yeah.
go. Awesome. So back to your computer. So any extra stuff as well as that? You think you use Stream Decks, don't you, as well?
Yeah.
So tell us about
A
your
little.
Stream Decks, and then some of the software that you use on your computer.
Yeah, so I use Stream Deck. I have two of them. I have the regular, what is it, 32? It's the 16 keys
Six.
as the,
Yeah.
I don't want to count live,
Yeah.
but anyway.
16 and 32. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, and I have the big one right next to it, so the XL. So I use both of those during my show. One, like I have a cough button that's on my small one, and some how I control my lights is on the small one. But then all my show is on my big Stream Deck because I have a lot of screens. I have a lot of overlays that I pull up during the show, and so that's what I use for that one. It's really cool because on a Stream Deck you can actually, because I produce multiple shows, I can actually switch between them and it changes all the buttons. So I can go to my next show really, really easy. It's already set up and it all works with Ecamm.
Yeah.
The other thing that I use for my live shows all the time is my teleprompter. And I used to use the Parrot teleprompter that actually my old phone would go underneath, and I could have a software that would go to that and I could read it on there. I just recently, in the last 3 months, upgraded to the Elgato prompter, which I love. I cannot recommend highly enough. The software works really great. And it's a bright screen. It's always there in front of my camera. I can just drag things. It's like another monitor, and I just drag things over that to it and on the Mac, and it shows up there. So it's really, really cool. It's really, really handy. And the software I use for that is called Teleprompter. I like it better than the software that the Elgato came with because I can scroll. The other one is like Pages, and you have to page through stuff. I like to be able to scroll through it while I'm talking. And so that's what I have for software for my teleprompting software.
Awesome. So as well as Ecamm is, I assume, like pretty essential. It's like central to
Right.
all the
Right.
video content that you create. But I know you are a big Descript fan. Tell
Right.
us a little bit more about some of the other essential software that you use in content creation.
So yeah, so Descript is my big one. As soon as my Ecamm show's done, I take that and I put it right to Descript, and that's where I do a lot of editing, a lot of pulling clips from. I use Adobe Audition, Adobe Photoshop to create graphics. I'm a big fan of all the Adobe suite. I've been using them for years. So Premiere is one where I do like the heavy editing in. I kind of get the clips and stuff from Descript, and then I take it sometimes to Premiere. And once again, Descript lets you export that out, and so it just can be imported directly into Premiere to do some fine tuning with. I've also started using a tool for vertical videos that I really like because I was able to get it on AppSumo and I don't have to pay a subscription. It's a lifetime offer. It's called Minvo, Minvo, which does a really good job of using AI to find clips and then actually help you put the really cool captions on with the emojis and all that kind of stuff, but also can find you sections for YouTube videos. So Descript does the same thing. And so a lot of times I'll take the Descript, there in the AI Descript will say find good clips. I'll take those, drop them into Minvo, and then kind of sweeten them up a little bit because it also will pull using AI B-roll that makes sense. So that's kind of a fun thing to use as well.
Yeah, you reminded me about the Minvo thing because I was just looking at that the other day. Because there's what's the famous one? There's
Opus Clips. Opus Clips is
Clips.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's that. There's a few of those, and even if you're
Mhm.
like me, not particularly into short form video, there are many people that are. So you're missing out if you're not
Mhm.
repurposing your content into that. So
Right.
that's awesome advice. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, let's move on to the next section, which is I want to kind of talk to you. I want to ask you really about personalization. So you've talked a little bit about your background,
Mhm.
but how have you made your studio space like uniquely yours to help foster creativity and productivity? You know, we've talked a lot about productivity. Like you obviously like working in your space. What have you done to make it like a place where you can create your best stuff?
Well, it's my space. It's only mine. Like nobody else is in here moving stuff around. So it's messy, but it's my messy. And I love it. So I've got a couch over there that I can sit on. I've got a little TV that I can, I don't hardly ever turn on, but like if the game's on or something, I want to listen to it. I've got some Marvel pictures and stuff and that you can't see, but it's my spot. I've got drawings from my kids up. Yeah, it's mine. And I have a really I got the biggest standing desk I could get. and it's bamboo. It's really nice, but it's wide. It lets me spread stuff out where I used to have actually a whole nother workstation over there until I got my giant widescreen monitor that I use, which I love. And so I don't need it anymore. But yeah, that's kind of to make it my own. That's what I have kind of done. I've got my carving stuff that I can carve online over in on my left hand side, but it's my space, and I know and I get it. Like I'm very blessed that I have this. A lot of people cannot have the separate building that has their office in it, but you can make a space. The biggest thing I tell creators is like, you've got to, if you want to create consistently, you have got to have a space that's always set up. Like my mic is always here, my camera is always here, and I can just almost hit a button and record something. Because if you're going to have to like set up lights, get your mic and put it up and plug it in and all this stuff, that friction is going to stop you from creating content. And whatever it is, even if it's just like a small little mic that you like a Blue Yeti or a little Logitech webcam that is on, make sure it's always on there. It's at your desk and you can press a button and hit record and go, because that's what's important. That's going to help you create content, taking away that friction of, "Oh, I got to go set up my podcasting studio now." And that's just not going to work. At least it wouldn't work for me.
No, and likewise. I meant to ask you about your monitor, of course, because you've got like a big fancy ultra wide monitor. Tell us a little bit about that and why you went for that.
So really, I saw Nick Nimmin using it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then there was a sale on Black Friday, and I knew because I was going to the studio that I was going to need a monitor because I had been using the iMac for years, and stupid Apple will not let you use the iMac as another monitor. Once it's done, it's done. It's just so stupid. But sorry, I get on my little Apple rant there. But so I looked at this wide monitor, and it is really wide. Like it is one of the biggest monitors, and it's curved. And I'm like, am I going to like it? I love it because it's supposed to be like curved the same angle as your eyeball, which I don't know is true or not. But I found that being able to have like a live show, have all these windows open, I have my notes over there, I can have my teleprompter up there. But it's a gaming monitor. It's made for gaming. So a lot of times live stuff and gaming, those are the kind of computers and the kind of stuff you want because it just works really well. And but I just love the real estate that I have when I'm creating. Like when I can open up Premiere and have this guy, ginormous like timeline that I can edit in, it's so much fun. And I really, really like it. So yeah, I love my monitor.
Yeah. That's something that I've got my eye on. Saving the pennies for that one. Yep. Well, it's time for the rapid fire round. So are you ready for this?
Oh, I got one more thing that I want to say.
Go for it.
So these are probably my favorite things too. Are my little monitors, and they're like $15 on Amazon. And I saw Michael Hyatt using them, and I thought that's really cool. They're probably gazillion dollars. They're not. They're like really cheap, but they hide behind your ear for doing live shows. And I love them. I use them all the time. I have like multiple pair because I'm always running over them with my chair and breaking them. So.
Yeah. I do have them. In fact, I've got some just.
But you
over
like
there,
the Mickey Mouse look. That's you. You love Mickey Mouse.
They're just nice and comfortable, and so that's just what I'm. And people on the podcast.
And my thing is, and one point too is like you're wired in. Like I see a lot of people come on my show and they're using AirPods. Like, okay, I tried that too. It's great until they disconnect in the middle of your interview. So I always say people when they're doing something, always use wired stuff, just because I've been there and done that.
Yeah, it is, but it is a difficulty with guests that a lot of guests just do not like wearing anything. I'm talking about headphones here.
You want to make sure that you're just doing a podcast, but they don't want to wear anything.
But obviously, if you want to avoid echo, then you need to wear some headphones or earphones, but they don't. It doesn't have to be like these big ones like that. You can wear the ones that you've got, Jeff. Well, yeah, rapid fire stuff. So let's get this all set up. Are you ready for this? Let's do it. Right. Okay. So the first question is, what's best, going solo or with guests?
Guess.
Okay, next question. Stream Deck, essential or optional?
Essential.
Ring lights, good or bad?
Depends on if you want that weird ring light look in your eye. No, bad.
Yeah, bad. Sitting or standing?
Sitting.
Headphones, yay or nay? We just talked about that.
Yes.
Of course. One big monitor or dual monitors?
Big monitors. Yeah, big monitor.
Okay. Background music, mood setter, or distraction?
Distraction.
Teleprompter, yes or no?
Yes.
Green screen or natural background?
Natural background. Green scenes are horrible.
Of course. Coffee or tea while recording?
I mean, it's the United States. It's coffee, my friend.
Ah, well, you never know. I have actually met a few tea drinking Americans. It is. Anyway,
I'll drink it when I can't get coffee. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, you got 10. That's pretty impressive. How many
were there?
There's quite a few more. But you're up there. You are up there with I think one other person got close to that, but you might be in the lead. I have to check with my next thing.
I should have stopped the commentary and just done it.
Indeed. Anyway, we're out of time. So tell our lovely listeners and viewers where people can find out more about you, where they can stalk you in a nice way on the socials, and tell us what you've been working on recently, because I know you've got a few little things you can share with us.
Yes. So the best, I do a live show every Friday at 10 a.m. Central. You can find that at socialmedianewslive.com. You can find us in your favorite podcast player at Social Media News Live. Just do a search for that. The best place to find me is jeffsieh.com. That's JEFFSIEH. S is in Sam, IEH, I before E, especially in C. That's how my mommy taught me to say it. And you go there, you can get access to everything. I did just put together a very, very cool little freebie that you guys can check out at jeffsieh.com/toolbox that has a bunch of cool stuff in it, all the stuff that I use, a lot of the stuff we talked about today. I just have a script course. If you want to get some help with the script, you can find out that I made a special offer for Ian. If you use the code Ian30, you get 30% off of whatever the price is currently. So make sure to check that out. But I'd love to connect with you wherever you're at on the interwebs.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, we are out of time. Thanks so much for coming onto the show. I really appreciate it. But until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Make sure you subscribe at iag.me/podcast so you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video.
And until next time,
Toodaloo.